Hello, I'm back. And before I get started on actually drawing stuff, just to prove that I am actually an artist, I have a lot of things here that a lot of people have seen before. Some people haven't. Um, but this is my personal collection, which is stuff that, like I said, some people have seen before. This one I know I posted this online. I call this Paul Donna. It's a different, it's obviously Madonna with Paul Stanley from Kiss's makeup. I gave this to my brother back in it says right here, it says in the back right here, 2/23 of '95, and then unfortunately he passed away, and I got it back. But he had it framed in his apartment. It's in very good condition still. This is like a 35-pound weight paper. Obviously, it's if you're gonna do something serious, I believe that paper is the key. You can't just like go out and buy cheap ass tracing paper and expect it to hold up through time. Um, this is a self portrait of myself. I'm a Scorpio, and you can see a lot of stuff that I'm going to show you guys is how to do shading with pen. You know, because there's a lot of people. It's easier to shade with pencil because it's just applying weight, but with a pen, how do you do it? You guys will figure that out. Here's another self portrait of me, my famous alter ego that I did this years ago. That's I don't smoke no more, so take that however you want it. This is my most famous unfinished work, which I'll never finish because this is a prime example of using cheap paper. This is Gene Simmons of Kiss, which I never finished. Um, Number one, which you guys, some people will notice and some people won't, but the proportion was wrong. The the boot should have been much larger, like what they call uh, what foreshortening, foreshadowing, whatever. And so I abandoned this project at you know because it wasn't going to work and it never will work. So why waste my time? But it's also a good example, once again, of shading with pen up here before the failure down here. I have thousands and thousands of unfinished works. Of course, you can't see them all, but this was a Manson Company Theater of the Absurd. This is just some weird thing I came up with. You know, um, see the clown getting executed in the electric chair, and I I stopped this because everyone thought it was like a Marilyn Manson kind of thing, when actually I was referring to Charles Manson, the murderer. So when I first came up with this, I did use the Marilyn Manson font here, and I figured, wow, that's just not what I'm going after. Everyone's gonna say, oh, you use the Marilyn Manson, blah blah blah. So abandoned project, never finished. Um, I have other things that people might be interested in is how I work. When you do an outline, you do an outline and I color it before. This is a simple outline of a girl group who I cannot name because I don't want to get sued. But by the time this was actually even started, they broke up, so I never got paid. But this is a perfect example of an outline, and then you put color on top of it and make it, full. This is one of my personal favorites. Sometimes you got to use a different colored paper to get your point across. Um, this is the famous actress Josephine Baker, which I did with Prismacolor on the pink paper, which you probably can't see with this light. It looks a lot better with the pink paper. Sometimes you have to use go outside the box and use different kind of materials. But like I was talking about paper, this is real cheap. You can see how it's kind of ripped up here because it's really, really, this is like basic construction paper that you use in kindergarten. So something like this, if you are going to use cheap paper, you want to preserve something, then frame it automatically and it'll last forever. Or I can take care of it for you and it'll last forever. See what else do I got here? I have, you buy these drawing tablets, in the store, which I'd recommend any artist, because you can keep stuff on here. This is another one a lot of people have seen, but this is actually still on the tablet. This is ensalada de ratas, which means rat salad. This is actually one of my favorites and a lot of my fans' favorites. This is colored pens like that you buy them like in 12 packs at Walgreens or whatever. But this is one thing that the it's not supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be like and there's different types of drawing. You could do drawings that you want people to make it. You want people to believe it's like a real photograph. And there's other things like this where it's obviously exaggerated to bring across a point. And this point, I don't know what it was, but just Rat Salad was an old Black Sabbath song, and that's what inspired me for this. Wow, I have more in here that. Oh, here's another. This is another one attached to the same tablet. People that are big fans of the rock band Kiss know that Ace Frehley wrote a song called "Cold Gin," and so what I've seen now is people doing cold gin labels. But I did this in high school, and I never finished it. Doing what I think was the first uh, cold gin label that I can remember, and you can see, obviously, it's unfinished. I don't know if you could see the how I put the border there, and I don't know why, but I gave up on it. But this is one of my favorites, and what I want to do is just maybe so I print it out, and for my personal friends, they could put it on the gin bottles. I think that'd be kind of cool. Bring it out to a party or something. People, oh, where'd you get that? And obviously there's lots of empty pages because, I just I never like to when I get these tablets. It's not a good idea, especially if you're using ink, to go from one page to another because then it's gonna get impressions and all that, and people who aren't artists are never gonna notice it, but you'll be able to see the scribble marks and all that on the next piece if you use each page. So I like to leave at least one page in between, like a buffer. Here's another unfinished thing. This is the Joker from the Batman series. You can see. I don't know if you can really see he has the shoulders and the arms crossed, and then he's standing. And I didn't like the face, so I just gave up. It was kind of just one of those things I didn't like very much. I have plenty more here. I might have to split the video in half. There's a lot of stuff I can't show here because I will get banned. But here's a lot of things that I can. Like this. This is Gone with the Wind. Rhett Butler and the Scarlet Hair. One of my favorite movies, by the way. That's the favorite iconic movie poster. It's my own kind of version of it, which is slightly different, but I think you'll get the picture. What else do I have here? This doing stuff on really cheap paper. David Lee Roth from the band Van Halen. This is all pen and ink. I believe I did this in detention when I was in high school. Sorry, my screensaver just came up, so I don't know if I'm still being recorded. This is my favorite medium is Prismacolor. And when you use Prismacolor, you can use it on dark paper, and the colors will stand out. The um, the famous model Tyra Banks that some may or may not know. This was again, the reflection is kind of weird. I'll tilt it like that so you can see it. And let's see, this is 1999 down here. Sometimes I sign my stuff, sometimes I don't. There's reasons why I do it and reasons why I don't. If they're personalized, usually I will sign them if they're like friends or something like that. But in other cases, I don't want anybody to steal it or whatever. Then obviously I will sign it, but a lot of times I won't, just because you know I just don't feel like it. I guess I don't want to own up to some of this stuff because people will copy it. Big fan of actually, if you want to see pencil work is a lot easier. I don't know if you remember the '85 Chicago Bears in the defensive end known as William the Refrigerator Perry. I did this. This is pencil work, and once again, it's going to be kind of hard to see on these videos, but that was all pencil work. And something like this would take me about, I could do something like this in about 2 hours. And something like this is, one sitting, a lot of the stuff that I'm showing you, I usually start, stop, finish, start, sometimes it takes years, sometimes it takes months. Other things here I can't show you, but I'll show you part of this one. I'll have to fold this in half because the bottom half is kind of weird. But see, there's that's a good portrait right there. The backlighting is not doing this justice. I might have to, if you guys are interested, I'll have to rescan them all and maybe post them. As long as you promise not to steal them. I've had my stuff stolen before. I mean, my image is stolen, and that's not fun. Tom Huell says Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart in the movie Amadeus. That was unfinished. I think Eugene Castillo might be interested in this when I'm done. Right, gringo? Yeah. Oh, stuff. When I was younger, when I was in high school, a couple of good friends of mine were in rock bands. So I used to do design their logos and do their what do you call those, flyers. This was unused because I don't know why, but my buddy Paul, God rest his soul, loved it, but apparently no one else did. Let's see what else here. This is a copy of an original I did. In my old art teacher actually had this posted on his art room wall like about 15 years after I had graduated. He still has the original, and he passed away, so I don't know what happened. Michael Schenker Group, another rock and roll. I didn't design this. I just shows you what kind of line work I can do. Let's see what else I got here. If you guys aren't bored yet, going on 15 minutes now. Another one of my favorites, Flipper Anderson from the Los Angeles Rams. Once again, Prismacolor on, this is basically construction paper that, children, work with in elementary school. So you don't have to really, really have expensive paper. I do because, experience, and if I really want to present something really well that's going to last forever, like the Paul Donna you saw, I'm going to put on really high weight paper. But if you're just messing around, you can buy those drawing tablets. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. There's a lot of stuff here that I wish I could show you. Here's another uh, band flyer that I did for my buddy Paul's group. This was I don't remember what year this was. The band was called Infinite 3. I designed that logo, which I'm very proud of, and I did the logo for the previous band, you know, and two things I'm very proud of is, you know, it's not nowadays it's easy for people to design logos. You just, you know, go to like certain places.com, which I'm not going to mention, and you just punch in an idea and it'll give you this, that, or that. And you pick one and you can morph it and all that other kind of stuff. But back in the day, you know, I had to do it by hand and come up with it. And it was quite successful. And I used to remember some of these band logos, I'd be at the concerts and I'd be freehanding them at a time, you know, like signing an autograph with people. That was one of the most proudest moments of my life. It's like people asking me for my autograph, even though they weren't. They wanted me to draw them a band logo, and I'm sure somewhere out there there's probably some of the White Axe logos or the Infinite 3 logos that I personally hand drew that are out there, or maybe not. Maybe they were just discarded afterwards. There's this is my old Nissan Sentra, a lowrider version, right here. This is pen and ink with Prismacolor highlights. And see, this is cheap paper, but like I said, if you frame it, if you're going to use cheap paper and you frame it and you take good care of it, look, it'll last forever. This is like 30 years old right here. This is a picture of the front end of a Corvette. This was actually at the displayed at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds. I believe it was what's it say here? I can't read the date, but it was actually up there, and you could tell my immaturity as an artist because it was off center. I expected it to be a lot wider, but you know. Now you want to go back? You want to go way back? This is, I believe, fourth or fifth grade. Now this is what you call still life. I was drawing something in a basket, and I want to say this is fourth or fifth grade. This was still life. I can't really tell what's in the basket there, but I think it was like, you know, fruit in a basket or something like that. Ice Cube, unfinished. The famous rapper Ice Cube from NWA and a solo thing. This is unfinished. And I don't know why I'm going out of focus here. Ice Cube. Abstract art. This is India Ink and Pen is my abstract art. Here's another original band poster that I did with the Infinite 3 and of course I think Scott McGinn, and remember the band up top. Remember this, guys? The Milpitas Youth Center. My most famous piece of art, and one that I'll always be proud of, is Madonna. And this is just a simple pencil drawing. The shading was different. I've done so many versions of this with various coloring and facial makeup, as some of you will know. The 85 Chicago Bears, which I was a big fan of. Jim McMahon and pre-mentioned Refrigerator Perry, when they played a Super Bowl, I forget which Super Bowl it was. once again a band poster, go for the same band, Infinite Three, when they played Cinco de Mayo at Independence at my old high school. See, there's Chris Yakis, Leonard Paul Walters, Signarovich, and Johnny Green. Guitars for guitars for Ozzy Osbourne, Jakey Lee, who's now in some sort of legal issues with Sharon. And of course, let's see what else is here. Another band that I worked with was a band called Lethal Creed, which are not around anymore. They were just like a local band in Mountain View who I had met through a friend of mine, and they were looking for someone to do a logo and do some uh, album artwork for, which at the time they couldn't afford full color, so it came to me and I did a black and white. This is a Lethal Creed, and this was a colorized version that I did personally, but on the original it was released only as a cassette. The original was all just black and white, but it was called Death Feast, and you could see they had the evil priest and all. This was co-designed by a man named Steve Kelly. We both worked on the design for for a couple of weeks actually, and so I have to give him credit because he was the one who actually visualized this, and I'm the one who actually created it. This is my Nigeria American connection here. It's the Nigerian flag connected with America and the country of Africa on here, obviously. Going way back, we have my version of the old. This is a tour program by Van Halen. I actually did this in history class while it was being taught. Um, an ex-girlfriend of mine. See, they don't get out of a relationship without me actually drawing them. And oh, here's one I really like here. Oh wow, here's another band poster. This once again had the Infinite Three logo, which I designed, and they played with Girls School at the Keystone in Palo Alto, which is I saw a lot of people there. I saw Metallica before they were big, Megadeth before they were big, at the old Keystone. This is my logo for the National Booty Association, which they never used it because it was too close to the NBA, National Basketball Association logo. So they said they loved it, but they couldn't use it. So I was rejected once again. But this is the original. They actually sent it back, which they don't do. So that was pretty good. Barry Bonds from the San Francisco Giants, right there. The original Big House from the movie Heavy Metal. This was something that was really just pen and ink, but I did some coloring on it afterwards. When someone saw it and said, "Oh, that'd be cool if you colored it," so I did. Malcolm Young, God rest his soul, from AC/DC. I actually did one of every band member. I don't know where the originals are, but I'm sure a lot of people really remember this or not. Another band poster from the Infinite Three is, once again, I said there's the Infinite Three with a band called Damage and Excalibur playing at the, oh yeah, once again, the Keystone in Palo Alto. I used to love doing these things. Actually, I can't take credit for these two logos. I can only take credit for the one I did, but I don't know. I don't remember how he did these. I think, someone would put it on and hand it to the next guy and then hand it to the next guy. And by the time I got it, it was down here. Or I just actually, back in the day, you couldn't cut and paste the logo. You had to, what I did was I cut it out and stick it on paper and take it to Kinko's or somewhere and have it copied. Shakira, Hips Don't Lie with Ace Frehley makeup on here. That's this is one of my fans' personal favorites right here. If I get a good reaction, I'll upload these to my Facebook page. But I don't have that many watchers or whatever. So this was like I said, if you're ever a girlfriend of mine, you're gonna get your picture taken. Obviously, this relationship didn't work very well because I kind of stopped it. But I heard she's doing well, so that's all that matters. There's self-portrait is me. I did this as and my mother, God rest her soul, said that she has the eyes. Okay, I'm almost finished here. I'm going on almost a half an hour. She-Hulk, Marvel character. Everyone knows the Incredible Hulk, but there was also a She-Hulk, and this was my interpretation of her. I liked this was one of my tricks. Was doing a border. I'd always put a border, not always, but I like putting a border around things and having the image come out. Like you can see she's coming out of the border right here. That always gave it, like, you know, some depth and everything. The aforementioned Josephine Baker, I did this in this was a rush, and honestly I did this in probably about 15 minutes. Josephine Baker doing the famous banana dance, and then after I did it, what I did is I used I took charcoal and did the highlights around her, you know, to make it pop. My famous boxer, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, another one of my more infamous or famous creations. Watercolor. Do I paint? Yes, I do paint. I don't like painting. Watercolor is really hard to control, so I don't really do it that often. And as a matter of fact, I might have watercolored maybe 4 or 5 times in the past 15 years. This was Madonna from the Like a Prayer video. I do not like this because, you know, it just doesn't really look like her, but the fact that I can actually control watercolor was amazing to me because, like I said, if you're a professional watercolorer, then good for you, because me being a professional artist, it's hard for me to control. Really hard for me to control, but that's what you get when you experiment. Kind of out of proportion disappointment. Another one of my ex-girlfriends, if you get, you know, like I said, if you date me, you're going to get eventually you're going to get some sort of picture of you. The late, great Whitney Houston, unfinished, but the gloves were everything. And probably going to have to conclude this. I'm going on half an hour here. So we'll go with one last one here. Unfinished Conan the Barbarian. You could see that, you know, this is what I like to draw on. Nice thick, what they call poster board. And you have, instead of a count like paper does, or a weight like paper does, they have a pebble count or something like that. But this is Conan the Barbarian unfinished. I'll upload this, and if anyone really likes it, I have big stuff I can show you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.